Why are Jews known worldwide as excellent negotiators? Some people say this with envy, others with admiration, some even with prejudice. But the truth is, there's an ancient tradition of negotiation in Judaism that isn't about deceiving anyone. It's exactly the opposite. It's about creating deals where everyone wins. In the Talmud, there's a concept called Dina de Malchuta Dina, and another called Lifnim Mishurat Hadin, that completely transform how you negotiate anything: salary, business, relationships, even prices at the market. In this video, I'm going to show you the 7 Talmudic principles of negotiation that make you prosper while making others prosper too. Because true Jewish wealth doesn't come from winning over the other person, it comes from creating value together with them. Ready to learn the art that built commercial empires for millennia? Let's start by destroying the biggest myth about Jewish negotiation: that Jews are too clever and always get the upper hand. That's anti-Semitism disguised as observation. The reality is the opposite. The Talmud dedicates hundreds of pages discussing how to negotiate ethically, how to ensure both parties are satisfied, how to avoid exploitation. There's a fundamental concept called ona'ah, which means commercial oppression. It's forbidden in Judaism to sell something for much more than it's worth or buy for much less, even if the other person agrees. The sages established that if the difference exceeds 1/6 of market value, the transaction can be nullified. Why? Because fair negotiation creates trust, and trust creates long-term prosperity. First Talmudic negotiation lesson: value research before anything. You can't negotiate well if you don't know what things are worth. In the Talmud, the sages were obsessed with market value. They knew the price of grain, animals, land, labor. Why? Because knowledge is negotiating power. Practical application: before any important negotiation, you spend hours researching. If you're going to negotiate salary, you find out exactly what they pay for your role in the market. If you're selling something, you know the fair price. If you're buying, you know the real value. This isn't to exploit, it's to negotiate as equals, with balanced information. And here's the Jewish trick: when you show you did your homework, the other party automatically respects you. You're not a sucker who can be fooled, but you're also not a con artist trying to fool them. You're a serious negotiator. Second lesson: concept of emet, absolute truth in communication. In Judaism, lying in negotiation isn't just unethical, it's spiritually destructive. There's a passage in the Talmud that says, "The seal of God is truth. When you lie, you break the divine seal." But listen, truth doesn't mean saying everything. You're not obligated to reveal all your cards. But what you do say needs to be true. If you say, "This is my final price," it needs to actually be. If you say, "I have another offer," you need to have it. If you exaggerate, inflate, make things up, you destroyed your credibility not just with that person, but spiritually. And there's a powerful practical effect. When you're known for always speaking the truth, your words carry weight. If you say this deal is good, people believe you. Your reputation becomes an extremely valuable asset. And if you're digging this deconstruction of Jewish negotiation, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because there's a lot more wisdom coming. Third lesson: Lifnim Mishurat Hadin, going beyond the letter of the law. This is revolutionary. It means that even when you have a legal right to do something, you consider what's ethically correct. There are discussions in the Talmud where the sages say, technically you can, but morally you shouldn't. Practical example: you're negotiating real estate and discover the seller is desperate, needs to sell fast. Legally, you can offer a lowball price and they'll accept. But Lifnim Mishurat Hadin says, offer a fair price. Why? Because exploiting someone else's desperation destroys your soul and contaminates the money you earn. And there's a powerful Talmudic promise: whoever practices Lifnim Mishurat Hadin prospers immensely. The sages guarantee that God rewards those who go beyond the ethical minimum. It might seem like you lost by paying more fairly, but in the long run, you gain in blessings, opportunities, and peace of mind. Fourth lesson: Geneva Da'at. Theft of knowledge / perception. It's forbidden to create false impressions. If you sell a car with problems but hide them, you stole the buyer's correct perception. If you inflate your resume in an interview, you stole the employer's correct perception. But there's a more subtle level. If you make it seem like you're giving a special discount when actually it's the price you'd give anyone, that's Genevat Da'at. If you make the product seem more valuable than it is, through deceptive packaging, that's Genevat Da'at. The application is, be transparent. Want to give a discount? Be honest about why. The product has a defect? Say it up front. The person will respect your honesty, and the negotiation will be cleaner. Fifth lesson: active pursuit of win-win. In the Talmud, when two rabbis negotiate something, the goal isn't for one to beat the other. It's for both to leave satisfied. There are even discussions where they deliberately give up an advantage to equalize the deal. This isn't weakness, it's long-term strategy. When you ensure the other party also wins, they want to do business with you again. And lasting commercial relationships are more valuable than one-time victories. Practical application. In any negotiation, you explicitly ask, what would be a good outcome for you? And you actively seek that together with what's good for you. Sometimes it means creativity, combining things, trading elements. But you don't leave until both say, yes, this works. And look, if you're with me this far, go ahead and drop that like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because there are 2 more powerful lessons coming. Sixth lesson: Dina de Malchuta Dina. The law of the kingdom is law. This means respect the rules of the game where you're playing. If you negotiate in a country, you respect that country's laws. If you negotiate in a market, you respect that market's norms. Don't try to cheat because you're smart. Why does this matter in negotiation? Because when you respect the rules, you gain institutional credibility. People know you won't do shady business, won't bribe, won't use illegal tricks. This differentiates you in a world full of shady dealing. And there's a deeper principle. Dina de Malchuta. Dina recognizes that rules exist to create order. When you cheat, you contribute to chaos. And chaos isn't good for long-term business. Order, predictability, trust in the system that creates an environment of prosperity. Seventh lesson: Elu Vailu. Both sides have truth. In the Talmud, it's common for 2 completely opposite opinions to be presented, and the sages say, Elu Vailu Divrei Elohim Chaim. These and these are words of the living God. Both have truth. Applied to negotiation, you enter accepting that the other party has a legitimate perspective. You want X, they want Y. Neither is wrong. They're just different interests. When you recognize this, you stop seeing negotiation as battle and start seeing it as a puzzle. How to fit 2 legitimate interests. This completely changes the energy. Instead of defensiveness and attack, you have collaboration. Look, I perfectly understand why you want that. Makes total sense from your perspective. From mine, I need that. How can we make this work? This instantly disarms resistance. Now let's go to 3 specific Talmudic negotiation techniques. First, Chakira Vidarisha, investigation and deep inquiry. Before closing any deal, you ask deep questions. Not just about the product or service, but about context, motivations, situation. Why is the person selling? Why are they buying? What problem are they trying to solve? When you understand this, you can offer better solutions, create unexpected value, find points of mutual gain that weren't obvious. Second technique, Pashara, fair compromise. When 2 parties don't agree, instead of one winning and the other losing, you seek Pashara. It's not automatically, splitting down the middle, it's finding the point that both consider fair considering all variables. Sometimes peshara means you concede more on one aspect and they concede more on another. Sometimes it means bringing in a neutral third party to mediate, but it always means we don't leave until we find something that's fair for both. Third technique, kinyan, ritualistic confirmation. In Judaism, important deals are confirmed with symbolic acts. Could be shaking hands, could be exchanging an object, could be signing a contract. The important thing is, there's a moment of formal commitment. Modern application, don't leave negotiations vague. We'll think about it. We'll see, maybe. No. When you reach agreement, formalize it. Write it down, sign it, witness it. This protects both parties and avoids misunderstanding later. So let's recap the Jewish art of win-win negotiation. 7 lessons. Value research, absolute truth, lifnim mishurat hadin, going beyond the law, genevat, da'at, not creating false impressions, active pursuit of win-win, dina de malchuta dina, respecting rules, and elu vi-elu, recognizing both perspectives have truth. 3 techniques. Chakira vidurisha, deep investigation, peshara, fair compromise, and kinyan, formal confirmation. The central principle is, negotiation isn't war, it's joint creation of value. When you ensure the other person also prospers, you build reputation, relationships, and blessings that multiply your own prosperity. Jews didn't get rich by exploiting. They got rich by creating trust, establishing commercial networks where everyone prospers, being known as honest but firm negotiators. And this only works with deep ethics grounded in sacred texts. Here's my Jewish negotiation challenge for you. In the next important negotiation you have, apply 3 principles: absolute truth, speak only truth, active pursuit of win-win, ask what's good for the other, and lifnim mishurat hadin, go beyond the minimum, be generous. And then come here in the comments and tell me how it went. I bet you'll have a better result than any clever negotiation you've tried before. Because ethics isn't weakness in negotiation, it's strength. If you want more applied Talmudic wisdom, I've got videos about wealth principles, about tzedakah, about kavana. It's all here on the channel in a complete playlist. Drop that like if this video changed your perspective on negotiation. Subscribe to the channel to keep receiving Jewish wisdom that works. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any powerful principle. And share this with that friend who negotiates badly because they think they need to win over the other person. Comment below, which principle impacted you most? Lifnim mishurat hadin? Elu vailu? Genevat da'at? I want to know. And remember, in the world of Jewish business, reputation is everything. You can win one negotiation by being dishonest, but you lose 1,000 future ones. You can lose one negotiation by being generous, but you gain 1,000 opportunities that come from your reputation. As the sages say, Shem Tov Midavash Tov, a good name is better than perfumed oil. Your reputation as a fair negotiator is more valuable than any individual deal you'll close. Thank you so much for staying here with me. I'll see you in the next video. Already negotiating with Talmudic ethics, already creating win-win wealth. Shalom and good business.